and gals. Today we are going to be talking about a very interesting and important concept in Python called functions, or as some of you may like to call them, methods. So why do we need functions? This is how I like to start every video and discuss with you guys and understand why we need things. So for functions, the use case is that I should be able to A, reuse stuff, B, I should be able to perform some predefined set of actions any number of times that I want, or a predefined number of times. And number three, I should be able to abstract things out. Now guys, abstractability is a very important concept in programming. When you go into programming much bigger projects than what you see right now, you'll have lots of places where you would want to abstract big chunks of code into small reusable pieces, which are nothing but functions. So let's dive into examples and touch upon all these 3 points that I just talked about. Let's take a look at our first use case. The first use case is we want to print a message to the console whenever a person logs in into our application. For the purpose of simplicity, let's say that we know the first name and the last name of the person. So in Python, the way to print out such a greeting message would be, welcome to the world of Python. Right? That would be it. We would just print a formatted string to the console with the first name and the last name. Now let's say that the variables first name John and the last name Doe was a very important person, is available to us, and we see what we want to see. We see the message, right? You get the idea. So for any user that is provided to you, you want to print out this custom message, but you also want to ensure that you put in the first name and last name of the person. What if I told you that I would give you a list of names, a list of tuples actually, where the first element is the first name and the last element is the last name. So what I mean to say is, let's say that you have a list like so, where the first name and the last name are represented as tuple elements. Let's take some famous people as examples. That should be sufficient for us, right? Okay, so what you could do is you could write a simple for loop, right? For name in names, we get the first name as name 0, we get the last name as name 1, and we go ahead and we print out the names with the custom messages. So I expect to see this output, and looks like we are doing the right thing here. Cool. So you're able to reuse code, right? Now what if, let's say, you need to reuse these 4 lines of functionality in multiple places of your code, not just one file but multiple files? How would you do that? Pause, step back, think about it. You're right. We need to be able to somehow package this up into a small reusable piece of code, and this is where functions come in. So if I were to go ahead and define something like this, where the first argument is the first name and the last argument is the last name, I would be able to call it so. Okay, I didn't define the method. I didn't click enter here in the interpreter. That's why I didn't get it. So you see the output as expected. You see that it prints out a custom message. So now whenever I need to reuse this functionality, I would just go ahead and invoke this method. That would be as easy as doing this, right? Cool. That's great. Now you have a small reusable piece of code that you can use anywhere that you want. See, that's the beauty of the function. All you needed to know here as consumer of the function is that A, it's called by the name greet user, and B, it accepts two arguments or parameters, the first being the first name and the next one being the last name, and that's it. You can do whatever you want to with it. You can print as many messages as you want. You don't have to worry what goes on internally in the function. So we touched upon all the three functionalities, or let's say the important points behind using functions. We have a reusable piece of code. We were able to print a custom message any number of times. And C, we didn't have to worry about the internals of the method. So that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you liked it and I hope you enjoyed the discussion here. Please feel free to post comments as you might deem necessary, and feel free to check out my other videos on Python. Till then, have a good day. Bye-bye.